My ships report that there are 0 life forms on the Crusader, and the only thing that remains is a quarter standard unit of length of helosteel alloy. This is all well and good, but what are we going to do about the other two, the Defender and the Invader? Are we to pull off this stunt again?
No, my lactate emissaries have informed them of the Crusaders' destruction and the death of the representative Chizoweasel. They are open for peace talks.
He was the one behind this all. That madman never knew the limits on vengeance. I am glad that he is dead for good. With the peace talks commencing, I wish to say that the CPAS would like to negotiate a neutral end to this war, and that nobody gains anything.
Yes, the lactate are willing to entertain the possibility of a ceasefire. I propose that this be held at the CPAS home base. Who is to represent you?
All but one of our executive officers survived. The Minister of Defense, that being Compass. So I believe that he will preside over the meeting.
I and my lactate emissary group will act on behalf of the coalition. Kappa Fiber, Professor Proboscis, is there anyone you wish to represent your respective states? I myself will, though my foolish brothers, who refuse to join me, such as Zeta and Pi, are on their own in these proceedings.
General Cha-Cha and General Tars will serve as representatives for the Republic of Tepe. I am to return to Tepe Prime. The talks will start soon. Remember that you two are to ensure that we benefit from this, even though they have stated that this is a neutral affair. Yes, I was thinking that a joint governance of the former UIPU could be established, giving us access to valuable resource deposits.
Or that the CPAS is to pay reparations for the unprovoked damages they caused. Or better yet, war crime hearings for all involved.
Cha-Cha, avoid any mentions of war crimes. Many of our tactics would elicit such trials as well. But do remember the prisoner of war exchange. I was hoping that wouldn't even have to be mentioned. Of course we get our prisoners back if this meeting actually ends this war.
Or what if we are given control of one of the Crusader-class ships for our own use? That would certainly benefit us, would it not?
True, but don't push it too far. The CPAS will probably lean towards them being scrapped than anything else. The peace talks are beginning. Professor, is this not where you go? May you forever be in the service of Tepe. As to you, for the glory of Tepe. Professor, is this your first time back on a Tepe ship since the war broke out? Yes it is. I am glad to finally be returning to the Republic of Tepe. It has been long since my feet have rested on its grand soils. It's been a long time since anyone has. The whole country's coated in steel. Or at least that's what my father always said. I will be in my ready room if at any point you require me. Of course, sir. Boy, is it great to be back, especially after listening to diplomatic sniveling for what seems an eternity. Am I right, Cha-Cha? What ended up being the terms of the agreement? Did the CPAS surprisingly benefit absorbently, as they always seem to in every treaty? Somewhat. They have staked claim to the parts of the UIPU around the exclave and on their southern border. Really about half the independent planet zone. I am sure that Kappa Fiber will be thrilled to learn he now shares a border with the CPAS. What happened to the other half of it, given to the lactate completely?
It was split between us and the lactate. We are allocated the portions around County 615. The lactate got the bulk of the territory, however.
Of course. If Tepe was not so small, that blue-headed CPAS would place us over those milk-blooded skim. If it raises your spirits, the invader and defender were not given to anyone. Instead, their crews elected to leave the known galaxy as we know it and head out into new frontiers. So no one benefits from them. That is unfortunate. I am sure that the CPAS gave some philosophy-filled monologue about ethics or some nonsense in a similar manner. Who is to replace King Buchingo or General Liam Hammerhouse, Vayax or Woodfield? I think it is time to focus on more domestic problems. No one is to replace our fallen generals. Instead, new governors will be appointed as heads of each quadrant. However, you four will retain your rank and superiority.
In all honesty, that is the only thing I cared about. I assume that you will fill in for King Bachingo as he is missing in action.
There is no evidence that King Bachingo ever died, Cha-Cha. But yes, for the time being, I will assume his position. I have prepared as a prison transport to rid us of carrying of those CPAS blueheads. That Livid sure stirs them up in revolts, you know. I'm aware that he has been running for the role of chamber commander from our prisons, and is ahead in the polls.
It may be best if we silence him now. Do we want such a psychotic man leading the enemy?
We are not going to start another war. We must simply just have hope that this compass can rally his people to a more moderate stance. I, Levid Romplier, solemnly swear that I will do my best to protect the CPAS and to uphold the documents that we were founded on. That I will be just and trustworthy, and, General Yoberon, I have a proposition to make to you. I am not going to assassinate the new chamber commander before you ask, Compass. I want your help in freeing the CPAS exclave from the core worlds. How long must they be under the thumb of this? Compass, I understand the bitterness of losing so closely to this formerly exiled general who plunged us into this fruitless war to begin with, but the people have made their decision. The CPAS is dying, and the exclave would be much better on its own. Maybe it's time we realize its full potential. At a later date, I want to see what you have planned. To be honest, I don't think I can stand being under this man's control. Professor Proboscis, you have received a new message from King Pachingo. Is there a reason, manservant Max, that you seek to irk me? Keep in mind, I have no qualms about killing you. Sir, he is actually here, in person. I would never dream of toying with the great Professor Proboscis of Tepe. It is I, King Bachingo. No lies or tricks here, Professor. It would be reasonable to assume my death, yet I did live. I spent the duration of the war in a CPAS holding facility. King Bachingo, you survived the war. Now let me clarify. I do not wish to take your position, but I convinced myself I must in your absence. Have no worry, Professor. I would do the same in your shoes. Alas, I am here and I will take back my spot. Those you thought dead are alive. All of them, actually. All of them? My Tepe troops and Q units, my Vayax computer, even General Hammerhouse? All of them, Professor. I must congratulate you on your braveness and dedication to the glory of Tepe. We must celebrate. That is what I am here for. Without Tepe, I would be no one. The glory of the Republic at Tepe gives many their purpose in life, my king. Professor, you have sacrificed a great many things for this cause. I remember when you self-destructed your ship, the Pride of Tepe, to save us. The Pride of Tepe is nothing in comparison to the Republic of Tepe. There's an Enforcer-class ship named the Pride of Tepe A waiting for your command. In fact, your old crew was stationed there. Professor Proboscis, I have a new mission for you, and it is time for you to return to the field. Manservant Max, you are dismissed. Manservant Gregory, get me my laser rifle.